So my plan was to, welcome to another video, by the way. So my plan was to leave here. I'm like the bottom of Labrador, like the Straits. Technically Quebec. No one cares. My plan was to leave last night and get in Goose Bay this morning to offload stuff for customers and get everything taken care of, but my father kind of talked some sense into me. Why would you leave last night and like sleep today? Like, you're not gonna gain anything. So I decided to wait for this morning, and I said, well, yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, we'll be able to shoot a video and we should have nice weather and everything, and it should be nice, and so much for the nice weather, and it is an absolute shit day. Sun is coming up a little bit over there, so I'm gonna go and we're just gonna go pick up the trailer and get on the go.
I'd rather wake up next to a stranger than wake up next to you. It's your weekly routine.
I love these engine brakes. So the exhaust brake is taking us down this hill completely. I'm not even touching the foot brake. Let's say we're towing about, let's say 15,000. Came into the town at under the speed limit, which is 50. Hell yeah. About 10% now here. I love pulling light loads. It is nothing for this truck.
I thought I wanted to save us, but I was stuck in the past. Messed me up, I wanted to hurt. Just give me something that lasts. I think you know what I'm made of, yeah. So where our mind is made, paint a picture in vivid color.
3 or 4 minutes into this video, but finally we're going to get into the topic of it. I'm going to tell you guys why you shouldn't delete your trucks. Everyone says deleting is necessary, needs to be done. Trucks can't function right without having it deleted, and that's just not true. There's a lot of misconceptions and things that people don't understand, and a lot of people also miss the consequences to deleting, which I figured out pretty quick from having my F-250 deleted. I got 170,000 kilometers on my F-250, which is deleted, has been since it was almost new, and I have about 150,000 on this truck, which has never been modified even. The first thing I'm going to get into is the legality of it. Just get the boring stuff out of the way. It's always been illegal to modify the emissions equipment on a vehicle, even more so on a commercial vehicle. The EPA put these standards on these trucks saying that they can't emit things that diesels naturally emit. Kind of messed up, but that's what the EPA does. It caused some big problems. Like, we got an oversized load here. The EPA kind of got ahead of themselves, and where the technology wasn't available yet, they went and just said this has to be done. That's kind of like asking for a holographic screen from Apple. The technology isn't there yet. I'm sure it's possible, but in the meantime, if it was necessary for a phone to have, they'd probably put up some paper screen or something that you could somehow interact, some cobbled up solution to the problem, when these things take time to like evolve. Caterpillar is working on diesel engines that won't need DPFs to meet emissions, which would really be incredible. The EPA decided to make the removal of this equipment illegal as well. Obviously it makes sense with all the computer technology out these days and all the aftermarket companies. It's no problem to take this shit back off. And I mean, a lot of police officers, they're not diesel experts, they're not diesel techs. They're not gonna know what a deleted truck sounds like or looks like. It's like, a lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. And the ones that do, a lot of them don't care. It's been illegal to run without it. Now, some states are worse, some states are better. Provinces are the same, like Alberta doesn't care. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, it's illegal but not enforced. In Ontario, it is heavily enforced. Ask me how I know. Don't even go there. In different places, like in Quebec, I think it's also illegal, but it's not enforced. Some provinces and states, there's emissions some there are not. You have to look up for each state. I mean, they're handing out tickets for this, like bigger tickets, $2,500, having to get your truck inspected, things like that, having to get your truck put through emissions again. You know, that means that at any given moment, if an officer is having a bad day, you can be put off the road. They can take you and say you're done driving until you get this truck repaired. From a legal standpoint, it can be a big pain in the ass. Now, I took my F-250 to Ontario to go pick up this trailer, and sure enough, while it was parked and idling, I just went in to grab some Timmies. When I came back out, there was an officer out there, like a environmental protection, and he went and gave me the full, and he looked under the truck, and the truck is straight piped. There's not even like a muffler there. And then he literally went up to me and said, "You're the reason my kids have ammonia." Gave me an $800 fine. Having a deleted truck can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Now, the way you can get around this is taking someone's DPF, hollowing it out, and it looks like it's still there, but it's free flowing right through. So that's an option. So another factor I wanted to talk about was the financial factor. Up front, one of these delete kits are, you'll get a cheap one for around 1,500 Canadian. That's if you get lucky, a really cheap one. And they go up around 3,000, 3,500. Now, it depends on the exhaust you want, depends what tuner you want. But for, yeah, top of the line, it's like it's around 3 grand. And like bottom of the line, what I did with my F-250 was I bought a cheap tuner off eBay for 600. Dropped, I just ran the downpipe. I had no exhaust on the truck. I had fun, but it caused problems later on when I had an exhaust fabbed up, and it just, in the long run, if you go cheap, it's gonna cost more. But if you go with great tunes from a great company and a good tuner and a great exhaust system, then you're gonna pay more up front, but it's gonna be worth it in the long run. So that's how much it costs. That's the cost up front. Now, in the long run, it does save on DEF and maintenance and fuel, but it takes a while to rack up $3,000 for that kind of stuff. If you have a problem and you delete it, that's a different story. But in terms of price, it is a pretty good upfront cost. The thing I'm going to throw in the financial aspect of it is warranty. You're going to lose your warranty in most cases. Some dealerships don't care about deletes, but sometimes Ford doesn't really leave it up to them. Especially if you're running silly tunes or trying to make power and everything, it's usually going to hurt your warranty to the point where you're not going to honor it. If you blow your motor up, that's on you because you took the filter off of your exhaust. If your motor goes down, I mean, that can be $20,000. It's a very expensive thing when you're talking about losing your warranty and possibly having to own one of these trucks without it. I need fuel. Looks like they got a new diesel pump here. We are here in Port Oak Simpson now, and this is like the last fuel stop for 500 kilometers until we get to Goose Bay, which is where most of that stuff on the trailer is going. So yeah, so while you do stand to save some money on fuel and save some money on DEF and everything, it can definitely be an expensive endeavor, especially if something unforeseen goes wrong. I've seen some trucks at, 10, 12,000 kilometers just blow out their insides all over the road, and at that point you're screwed. And sometimes I just don't know if it's worth the risk, losing your warranty, losing thousands and thousands of dollars just to have the truck deleted. But of course, depending on the person, it might be worth it. I have no trouble burning more fuel in my 2014 6.7 than in this 2017 6.7 now. They made these better on fuel, but I don't think there's a big difference. That's hit or miss. You might not save any money on fuel. Something else to think about is, and this isn't really something I think about that much though, is really depends on the user, is some tunes, especially the shift on the fly tunes, they add a lot of power, and that can actually mess some stuff up. In my F-250, I passed 5 vehicles one time. I just floored it up a hill, and when I got to where I was going, I had a click in the rear end, and that was the universal joints had actually twisted and broken and they were loose. So that's something to think about, is when you're dealing with that much power with these tunes and everything, especially if you let other people use your trucks, you might be looking at some special unforeseen repair expenses. Let's see what we got. We got sandwiches, some 7-Up, a donair, and that should do for this 7 or 8 hour drive, I guess. Hopefully it's no longer than that, because that means we broke down again. So I heard that the gravel road wasn't so bad this time. Like, it's actually fit to drive over. Truck trailer driver said he was averaging like 90. Hopefully he's right. Okay, so we're here on the gravel road now. This is why I don't buy a Dodge, for those of you wondering. The front ends don't handle this very well. The third thing I really want to talk about was general reasons not to delete a truck. I think the last big thing that I'm going to talk about, and this is the biggest thing, I believe, EPA is straight up shutting the whole delete thing down. Stupid road. They're actually targeting the off-road tuners and everything who are making off-road only products. They're going right to them. What they're doing is they're seeing people posting their trucks on Facebook and everything, and it's all coming from social media, and then asking them where they got their deletes, pretty much, going to those companies and shutting them down. Huge fines, huge threats. Yeah, the government's pretty much putting an end to it. It's going to be impossible to delete a truck. Even if it is for off-road use, they're just putting an end to it. If you do delete your truck, I'm going to say it now, keep your DPF, make sure that everything's ready to be swapped back, because it's only a matter of time where deleting is going to be a thing of the past. Support for the tunes and support for the delete projects. Like, let's say you need a new tune or you want something changed, those companies aren't going to be able to do anything with it anymore. They're not going to be just able to sell anything, because the EPA is going to be watching them like hawks. Now we're coming towards the end of the video. I'm going to say that, you know, I do have a deleted truck. I do believe that the cons still don't outweigh the pros for deleting. I definitely think that deleting is a great way to save money, a great way to enhance your truck, and a great way to just enjoy your truck more overall. There are definitely some consequences that we might have to deal with, and it's getting worse and worse. You know, like, I mean, look at the Duramaxes even. They're becoming almost impossible to delete, like at $7,000 to take an exhaust filter off a truck. That is ridiculous. You know, if you want your truck to, you know, last a long time, you want to sell it one day, the best way to keep the truck's value is to just leave that stupid system on. It's soon it's going to be a pretty dark world to be in. as far as truck modifications go, anyways. Look forward to my next video, which is probably going to be in my F-250, talking about reasons to delete trucks and why you need to do it. Guys, if you like my videos, if you like this one, you know the drill, you know exactly what to do. You guys have a good day. How do the rocks just stay in there? That looks like a good way to get killed. Super sketch.